Content Cop is a YouTube series made by iDubbbz which sets out to tackle and pick apart YouTube trends in specific channels. The series has been brilliant at taking niche but important pieces of information and raising them to the front lines to make them once again relevant. People seem to forget that before iDubbbz did a video on Keemstar's controversial past, several big names actively sought out to ignore these previous events, and many YouTubers who now claim to have always been against him were in fact at that time actively seeking out his friendship. Police Sketch proved in this one video that it could totally collapse a YouTuber's reputation. Unlike many channels that do videos centered around content creators, iDubbbz is very careful about what he says, and the period that follows afterwards can often be difficult for creators who have been featured, because iDubbbz is smart enough on his show to actively seek out and lambast common drama responses from these creators. Keemstar, for instance, infamously attempted to respond to his video by using all of the same tactics and cliches that iDubbbz had said that he would. In the case of Killer Keem, there was never really going to be a way to make a good response because the video was very straightforward and very harsh. But, in the case of Leafy, a clear door was left open. When you look at the Leafy Content Cop as a whole, instead of focusing on specific moments like a fucking moron, the thesis is that Leafy's issue is that he pushes out a lot of, quote, satire at other people, while never being able to take or make jokes at his own expense. Sure, he can do hundreds upon hundreds of videos on cringy kids or fat adults or annoying YouTubers, but he can't seem to do the same to his own face. The assertion that Leafy hides his chin away wasn't actually meant to be taken at face value. Rather, you were supposed to understand the irony set in place. Leafy is a channel that's dedicated to making fun of other people's faces and appearances, but he's also someone who had to do a face reveal. Some people, very, very, very stupid people, snarked back that iDubbbz shouldn't make fun of Leafy because he, according to them at least, is also rather ugly. Briefly indulging in this fantasy that these two faces are equally unattractive, let's figure out an answer to this quandary. Why is it that making fun of this person is somehow exposing them, while making fun of this person is to be expected? Well, it's pretty simple, really. iDubbbz might make fun of other YouTubers or Kickstarters, or maybe even his own fans, and he might set out to expose or break content. But the core of his comedy is built at a very self-aware and self-abusive standpoint. A lot of recent people probably know him for his latest, quote, drama videos, but I think that his most hilarious and eternal work comes from a point of enunciating the absurdity of his own presence.
I'm gay!
You can't come back at iDubbbz, because anything that you could possibly say about him, he already has, and in a video hundreds of times more hilarious than anything that you could ever make. You can't expose iDubbbz because he doesn't have anything to hide. The man did a video where he ate his own hair baked into a cake. You think he gives a fuck if you make fun of the fact that his forehead is well-rounded and shiny? iDubbbz has proven in the past to be thorough against his victims, and in his latest one he surely doesn't hold back. But he came at it from a lot more of a fun, loose position than he did in his Keemstar video. In doing so, he might have accidentally given Leafy a get-out-of-jail-free card. Sadly, Leafy isn't nearly smart enough to understand the complex rules of Monopoly, so instead of knocking out that small fire with some salt or even a cup of water, he ran to the garage and picked up that mysterious brown liquid and poured it all over the stove. All Leafy had to do was one simple thing, in 4 words. Go with the joke. Additionally, what he obviously shouldn't have done was create a video where he confirms all of iDubbbz's points about his content one by one, down to the video being 21 minutes when it really could have been 10 or 15. There's one point where, no joke, he goes down 2 of the bullets. Not only does he mention iDubbbz's old videos just as iDubbbz suggested he would, but he also uses the chance to do an anti-insult.
And I would never, ever criticize someone's older videos. That's just not me. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. We've all made bad videos in the past.
We've all made content that we're not very proud of. Maybe you combine both of them and you did a cringy Slenderman Gangnam Style video.
Mr. Savage removing all of his older videos as soon as he started talking shit? Definitely not insecure.
Spot on observational comedy as always, Leafster.
He also spends way too long focusing on how iDubbbz mocked his titles being 8 seconds, while he also makes sure to shorten them for this video to hide how awful the flow of his series is. If we were to sit here and pinpoint every time that Leafy did something that iDubbbz said that he would, we would be here all day. Here's the main thing. By violently taking the Content Cop episode as an attack on his character and not his content, and by trying to undermine the creator of said video using the same means when there is no approachable way to do this, he is only making the videos seem more like an accurate portrayal. Other than the fact that the video is funny and has a lot of effort put into it, the Content Cop on Leafy basically is a Leafy video. Leafy does videos on other YouTubers, mocks their presentation and appearance, and at the end of the day calls it satire. He can do videos calling YouTubers rapists and pedophiles, and can make fun of the mentally impaired and crippled, and that's satire. But the moment someone does a video saying that his chin is weak and that his editing style could use some more effort, that's drama and needs to be squashed like a bug with his witty little zingers and his army of fans. And this is iDubbbz's final victory. Because by pushing back against the joke with the same gloating attitude that possesses most of his channel, he has proven that not only is he absolutely spineless, but he's also totally chinless.